Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the game Meet Your Maker, and I'm just going to go over a few key things about the game so that if you haven't seen any footage of the game or this is the first time you're hearing about the game, I just want to explain the concept of the game, what the game is about. So let's start there, right? So I'm going to read what they have here in their bullet. Meet Your Maker is a post-apocalyptic first-person building and raiding game where every level is designed by players. Play solo or with a friend as you mastermind devious maze-like outposts full of traps and guards, then gear up for fast-paced combat raiding other players' creations. Well, let me kind of just button that up into what it's about. It's got kind of two aspects to the game. One being is you got a first-person perspective that you go into these people's buildings, other player buildings that they make, and you try to disverse through it. Like, I guess the easiest thing is like Indiana Jones. If you saw the first Indiana Jones movie, and he goes down and he's got the traps he's got to deal with, and he grabs the thing and he makes other traps go off. That's pretty much what the designer here made. It's, the game designers made an ability as a player to build these Indiana Jones death traps that other people can go in and raid and get content, and they or get rewards. And what they've done is they reward the builder of these complex outposts. They reward the builder for every death they get in there, and then they reward the raider for successfully completing. They also reward you if you don't successfully complete it, because when you go into one of these structures, you can destroy the traps prior for them than going off. You can kill the mobs, the monsters, and then they drop loot, and you pick that up. So regardless if you were able to complete the outpost, you're still rewarded for your effort. There's a few things that need adjusting in the game, and the only concern I have at this time is if the developers are actually taking in some of the suggestions, because they don't hear much from the developers. They don't even have their own Discord channel. So I'm on a Discord, and I'll provide the link below in comments to Discord that I'm on, and it's just a group of people that play the game that created their own Discord server for the community to use, so that like-minded people can get on and talk about the game, strategies, get people to play together. The game allows you to play co-op, and you can go into these outposts with a friend. So two people, a duo, can go into an outpost and work together to get the prize, and then get out of the outpost and get rewarded for it. You can do it solo if that's what you want, but as a creator, as a builder myself, I found the game enjoyable with the aspects of building. I didn't do much raiding myself in the game, but I like that part of the game where you can generate the outposts, get rewards for building a good outpost that kills people, and not have to be forced into a mechanic of the game that you might not enjoy. So there are people that I know in my friend orbit that loves first-person raiding games, and they think building structures is just boring and it's not anything they like to do. But they'll definitely go and tackle somebody's imagination, because that's what this is building your imagination within the confines of their building system. And what's great about it is someone like me who is not that great at Twitch playing, it's raiding, I can do it. If it's a easy map, not a problem. And what's nice about the game is when you build I call them my sinister layers, is what I call it myself. These outposts, my sinister layers. When I build my sinister layer and I publish it, people will see it in a random queue, and they can go and do the content. And I think part of the concern with your with the player base is, we don't really know what the mechanic is that puts your map in the list, because when a player raider gets on and they go to the rating interface, they'll get a selective of normal, dangerous, brutal. They can select a category, but within that category there's like only 5 outposts. So I think it's like 15 selected random outposts that a person can choose from. And then when they go do the raid, they come back and they get another 15. So the question is how are they doing the actual picking of what shows up in that person's list? And I also know that if I build an outpost and it shows up in someone's list and they do that outpost, then my outpost will never return to that person's list. So there's some concerns around that, because if you don't have a high player base and people can't redo content, will the game get stale? I don't know if the game will get stale or not. I really cannot make that prediction. I know I enjoy the game. I enjoy the building aspects of the game. Not much of the raider, like I said. But if you really enjoy fast-paced games where you have to think on your feet and move quickly and fast, then this is the game for you. I really enjoyed it. That's why I'm making this video today, to try to put a spotlight on this game. Yes, I think this can be some improvement. Yes, the developers don't seem to communicate with the community all that often. Yes, they don't have their own Discord channel. Yes, they don't seem to be proactively trying to accumulate what their beta players what they were thinking. So that leaves some concern with the player base currently, that hopefully they heard the community during the beta test and they make some adjustments. Now they might not, and that's fine too. If they make no adjustments whatsoever, let's say they did the beta really for stress testing, right? And to see how well the system performed, with no intentions to make any changes, and they deliver the game, and then you get a flood of people in the game, and maybe at that point they'll see what some of these valid concerns are, and maybe they'll do some adjustments. If they don't make some key adjustments, then the game, I think, stays really niche, and I think a player base might be a concern. I don't know. I can't predict the future. I only can tell you that I enjoyed the game. I will be buying the game when it comes out on April 4th. And that's not that far away. So we'll know in a few weeks what we're going to be getting in the end package. And hopefully they've made some adjustments. And I'm not saying that the game is a dumpster fire. Far from it. I mean, this game, I would say, I've done video game reviews for a very, very long time. They did very well in designing the concept of this game, delivering a product that I thought was pretty bug-free. Yes, there were some buggish issues occasionally, and again, we're hoping that those get worked out. Maybe not before release, but maybe a little after. I really think that if you give this game a try, you'll enjoy it, even with the little bit of concerns people have. I would rate the game probably a 7 out of 10, 10 being a perfect delivered product. And the only reason why I'm giving them a 7 at this point, I think it's more or less around the interaction with the developers. They just don't seem to be forthcoming with information of what their true vision is. And some people might, chop me at the knees for saying that, in the comments below, saying, Tarkus, they don't have to communicate with us. It's like buying a car. You either buy it and you like it, or you don't buy it and you move on. They're delivering what they want to deliver. If it's outside the scope of what makes you happy, Tarkus, then this game, just move on. And I get that. I see a lot of games on Steam where people say that they say to the developer, don't listen to anybody. Deliver what's in your head. Give us that on day one. That's your little baby. You're developing that little baby, and just give us that, and hell with what people say about your game. And sometimes that works. Sometimes developers knock it out of the park, and maybe we didn't understand their vision until we got deep into it. But there's a lot of games out there where developers took that role, and the game's popularity just went like this, because there were clear signs that improvements could be made, but the developer held tight to their form, saying, no, this is what we built the game. If you don't like it, pack your shit up and go home. And that's why I'm kind of giving it a 7, because I'm not really seeing much, going on here with the developer saying that, look, yes, we heard these things, we have taken that information in, and we're going to work our game accordingly. I mean, just even if they gave us the brush off, comment saying like, we're going to do it accordingly with no intentions of changing anything, that's fine, but just have some communication. And the only reason why I get at this is because I talked to people in Discord that were alpha testers. I talked to them when they did the beta testing. And when they talked to me, they're like, geez, they're not making changes. They didn't have us alpha test it. We gave them a list of things that we thought would benefit the game, and we never saw them implemented in beta. And then we say again in beta, maybe we should consider doing this. And it's again, radio silence. And so I'm not, usually when I do a beta test and a alpha test, there is a free flow of communication between the developers. Most developers want to know what the community thinks. And maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's squirreled somewhere that they have been talking to us and I haven't seen it. But based on my interaction with real individuals, speaking to them on Discord, they're telling me that they've been here from day one. They've been helping alpha beta test this product on day one, and they've seen minor adjustments where there are a couple aspects of the game that could really do a major kind of adjustment. But who knows? Again, it could be just their vision. They want to put what they think is right out on day one, see how it goes, see if the people love it, hate it, or just kind of bland to it. We keep on saying that this game could be it's like a niche game. If you like building stuff in a game, if you like rating things in the game, if you want a fast-paced game that is not going to suck your soul away for hours, that's another thing about this game is you can show up and play it for 15, 20 minutes and then go and be with your family. You could play it for 20, 30 minutes, go and be with your family. It's not a game like, you're raiding all night and it takes 3-4 hours to get it done. It's almost like scheduling a job, you know what I mean? That's not this game. You can enjoy this game, fast-paced environment. You can build on your own pace. You can put maps up on your own time. I think that if you give this game a chance, that you'll be happy with it, because Tarkus has been happy with it. So I'm going to scroll down here. We did get this. This is new, so I'm going to read it right here because, I'm saying that the developer hasn't said anything to us. But here we've got this here that was on February 14th. So a couple days ago, I must have missed this. Thank you for participating in the closed beta that we're going to open on April 4th. See you then. Meet your maker. Okay, so I guess that was the message they delivered. So I guess it still stays true that they're not really giving us any good nuggets of information. Thank you for helping us with the beta. And they speak of nothing in this about what they heard, what they were considering, what the results of the beta was. Did their minds get changed in some way? Is there going to be a different overhaul of something? No, it's, thank you for doing the beta, and we're now releasing the game on April 4th. Okay, what's new in Meet Your Maker's open beta? Then we already saw this in the beta. This is February 10th, and we already knew about this. This is stuff that I've done in my my videos. If you've seen any of the Meet Your Maker videos I made, none of that was new. That's just going over the basic elements of the game. So let's go to the community hub real quick. What's new? Okay, yes. Again, they posted on, it's February 10th, and then this other one was on February 14th, and neither one of them is really given, a personalized answer from the developer. There are some developers that are very personable. They get on their forums, they go on the Steam discussion page, the forum, and they interact with the community. And again, you'll find that when you get here, all of the discussion is just player-based discussion, which is nice. I like that. It shows the game is active. People have their own thoughts. They have their own concerns about the game. And if you agree with it or you disagree with it, just like when Tarkus shares his opinion, and that's, what I do in these type of videos, I share my opinion, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me, and I don't expect to, I'm not saying that I know what the end result should be with changing the game up. I can just hear so-and-so say this, so-and-so say this, and I kind of sit in the middle and say, yeah, I got to agree with both sides of that. It could go either way. I'm like one of those people is it could go either way, but if it stayed the same, meaning that it hasn't made any changes to better itself over time, then a game like this kind of burns you out in 2 or 3 months maybe, because you aren't seeing developmental changes that are good for the community. All right, let's look at a couple. Is it out yet? Obviously not. Meet Your Maker community Discord. I think this might be the one that I'm on. Meet Your Maker community Discord. Some of us play. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I am on this Discord, and this is just the moderator of that Discord, letting people know that it's available, and that as a community we can come together. And again, I will provide this link in the comments below, that you'll have it so you can join us on Discord. Please do, because I post a lot of my videos in the content creator bucket that's on that Discord channel. Don't block users, just skip Outposts. Oh, let's look at this real quick. Don't block users, just skip Outposts. Not every outpost fits every raider's playstyle. That's all good and fine. But the idea that builders only build one kind of outpost is silly. Now, I know I just read the first sentence of this. I have to say right now, I can understand people think that it's vanilla, meta. Everybody's building the same garbage. I'm not. As a builder, you won't see my buildings match anyone else's buildings. And I had huge kill ratios. So I understand that people are going into these devious layers, and people are copying, as a raider, let's say I'm a raider, and I go into one and I'm like, oh, I'm getting my butt kicked. And then I spend the afternoon just recreating what that guy did because it kicked my butt. And that's what you're seeing, is a lot of recreation of the same building structures, and that kind of gets weak fast, because as a raider you're just running the same map over and over, just made by a different individual. And I can understand what this person is saying, but again, I think as the player base explodes on day one, on April 4th, I think you're going to get more different styles of buildings or outposts that people, if someone doesn't like an outpost I've made, that is cool, let them skip it. But the nuclear option of blocking me as a builder means they don't get to explore the stuff I built that is aligned with their play style. And worse, apparently means I can't explore the stuff they've built. Also, just because they skip block or whatever doesn't mean it shouldn't get to see their replays and use it as an opportunity to learn how my outposts could be more fun. I do that a lot. That's my build style in this game. I will build an outpost with my imagination, and then I'll watch, after people have done it, I'll watch the replays and see how I can improve it, and then I can make adjustments accordingly. And I think what he's saying is, let somebody hit the skip button but still have your map show up in that person's list. I think that's what his concern is, that if I go in and I just leave the outposts and just go in and it's like, no, this is a meta build. It's the same old garbage. And you leave that outpost. You're never going to see it again. And I think what he's thinking is, as a builder, you're not going to see any of the person's content again. I'm not really sure how that works within the game. And I think it's going to get ironed out. I am hoping that if someone goes into my content and doesn't like it and leaves, that they still see future content that I make. Or they're going to say to themselves, no, Tarkus is a jerk when it comes to building his bases, and I'm going to skip all of Tarkus's content. I mean, that's just a player prerogative kind of thing. This person replied, I agree with the replay part. We should absolutely be able to see what happens. Well, you can. I mean, currently you can now. Show no name. Okay. Not identifying the person. Well, I like knowing who the person was. That's kind of, especially if they do a great job and I do a video. I've done a few videos on my channel where the person did a perfect job, and I highlighted that. I did a YouTube video with background music and basically saying that this guy kicked the crap out of my outpost and giving him props for that. And not to have his name in that video would be bad. I mean, yeah, I have videos where the person failed miserably, but it also allows people to see the determination some of these raiders have to getting into the base and getting out. I had one guy do my base. He died 46 times by the time he able to achieve it. And he never gave up. Props to that person. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you go. On your first point, well, you and likely many others don't do just one style. The raider just cannot be expected to remember the names of every builder that is cancer. Well, I think, if you have a good memory, you'll understand the builders that make cancer builds. I hope people don't see my builds as cancer. I mean, I put a lot of work into my builds, and I try to not have them look like any other builds, and only block them after X builds have been experienced. So they're talking about blocking creators. Like, I can block Tarkus altogether and I'll never see his garbage. That's, I guess, if people want to do that. I mean, if they don't want to enjoy all the content that a creator has, you go to one. The problem is, you go to one map and you think it's cancer, then you block that person. They got 4 other maps that are beautiful. You've just robbed yourself for those 4 other possible maps, I guess. I guess that's how I'm seeing this. I only block builders when they block a tomb. I don't care if they make the best map ever. If the tomb is blocked, they're going to land on a Nor. There are these random tombs that generate in the map. I don't block mine. I actually free open them. So the person can join the map, not even go through the front door, but they could go around the map and collect the tomb spoils, and then they can leave, and they can just have the tomb spoils if that's what they want. I'm good with that, but I do think it's kind of squirrely that there are builders that block them. Maybe there's builders that don't understand the game, that you don't lose anything. As a builder, you don't lose anything. Blocking them, not blocking them, it should be no problem to the builder because it's not affecting you as the builder. If the algorithm does affect you, if someone comes into your building, your outpost, and just immediately leaves, that does hurt your statistics a little bit. And that's part of the massaging of the numbers that I was talking about earlier, is if they've got ways that people can screw up the builder's numbers by just joining and doing none of the content and leaving, then that should get resolved. Because some of the guys were saying that, yeah, this guy came in, he died once, then left, and he gave up without even trying, and that made my numbers get screwy, my kill ratio get screwy. And, that's going to happen. I mean, you can't force somebody to continue going through your content if they die once and feel that, okay, this is a cancer build and I'm giving up. I don't know if the algorithm can be changed a little bit, that it doesn't hurt as a builder, hurt you as much by somebody just giving up on your outpost. But I don't know. Again, these questions have been posed in this forum. It's been posed on the Discord channel a few times. How are they figuring that out? Because there are some people that are running, they're like analytical, running the numbers on their page, and they're trying to get the highest kill ratios without being cancer, and they're just seeing their kill ratio numbers fall because the raiders are going in and just giving up without really even trying. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit because I'm enjoying this topic, this conversation. I'm not going to block anyone over a level because I honestly can't understand why you'd ever would. But I'm not against the ability to do so. I would like to see replays for users who block me. I can't fix the problem that I've caused the user that blocked me if I can't see what I've done wrong. That's a good point. You know, if you find that, if you as the raider feel that it's a cancer build, then there should be a way that somebody could tell you that they felt that way. Now, I know at the end of the run, you have the ability as the raider to give it a thumbs up as, you know, a good build, a brutal build, a fun build, artistic build. They have like these 4 categories. Well, maybe they have 2 more added to that, meaning a thumbs down that you didn't enjoy it, and or maybe another one is this building's cancer, so that people have more than 4 options as a public player that they can actually score it based on. And maybe the cancer in the thumbs down doesn't show up in the public. It just shows up for the guy who built it. So when Tarkus gets in, he'll see I had 3 cancers. People said I have, and maybe at that point I need to adjust it. I know because when YouTube did that, they removed the thumbs downs for small content creators to help them try to promote their products so people are not trolling people for thumbs downs. So you just don't make them visible. You know, people can give you a thumbs down for your outpost, but that only is seen by me, and then I can make adjustments based on how many thumbs downs or how many cancer booleans that people have chosen. All right, I'm just going to move on here a little bit. Let's just scroll down here, see if I can find one more, cherry pick one more. Need to play to, okay, do you read what we've written here? Do they? Yeah, okay, so this goes back to what I was saying earlier, and this is not the first time this has come up here in the forum. Do they read what's written here? I have never seen any posts from the dev team or even a CM. There's tons of good ideas on this forum, and I'm pretty happy to see that the community wants to get involved in the game's future. But if no one from the company itself sees it, well, it's pretty useless. I think that's where I've been getting at since I started this video, was this guy nailing it right on the head. But he's not the first person to make a post like this. Like, what is going on here? Is anybody listening? Hello, hello, hello. You know, it's, are you hearing me? And now I'm talking to people who play Dead by Daylight. That's a good game. And if you haven't noticed, it's the same development team. For what I've seen, the game is still being updated, and that's nice. But do they listen to the community? Question mark, question mark, question mark. You think they would, given that it's an open beta. I mean, otherwise, what would be the point? Well, the point, like I said earlier, is maybe they were just testing the connections, the servers, you know, stressing the server. Maybe they had no intentions of listening to anything. The point of the open beta, sure, it's a good way to test the game's mechanics and if it works well, but it's mostly a way to see if people are interested in the game or not. I'm not saying that they don't listen. It's just that they don't know about here precisely the Steam forum. I'm pretty confident they're actually listening. Otherwise, they would have done a survey, or they wouldn't have done a survey about the game. And that's why I'm asking to the people who play Dead by Dead. Okay, so I'm sorry that I goobered that up a little bit, but they did do a survey. But what I hear about the survey is they made no changes based on what that survey said. So that survey was done months ago. And all the people that were around to do that survey, every single one of them I talked to said, yeah, that survey was done, and the devs did 0 to change anything other than a couple cosmetic things that bothered, I guess, some woke snowflake. Is what I'm being told, is somebody made a comment about diversity, and they made a diversity change in what the characters look like in the hub. And other than that, 0 effort was made to change anything else that was on that survey. So I hear what this person say. Why would they ask for a survey? Why would they do a survey if they're not listening? Well, they did a survey basically to blow smoke up your butt. It's basically what I'm understanding of what that survey resulted in. All right. Well, I've talked about it, and again, I'm not trying to say too many bad things about the game. It's not released yet, right? We don't know what we're going to get on the 4th. Maybe they are listening. Maybe they knocked this out of the park with some adjustments to what they've heard, or they are just waiting for a larger player base to, and then watch the numbers start to decline, the play numbers start to decline, and then make adjustments. But I mean, you don't want to have your game hemorrhaging too soon with a game like this, because if you lose player base, then it's like a house of cards. It just, it just slowly, the game for everyone else becomes unfun. Because with a game like this, you need a higher player base. You need new bases. You need new ideas of people making outposts. You have to have creators make outposts. Like, say, for example, you get on and everybody wants to be a raider. Well, there'll be no outposts, right? You got to have people that build in this game to make content for those people who love the raid. And there's people that like to do both. They like to raid and build. So they'll raid, and they've got their building working in the background, that passive income. I did a whole video on that, where they're making passive income by killing people in their sinister layers while they're out raiding. So you're double dipping on rewards, which is great. Tarkus only did the building. He didn't do much raiding. So I only got the rewards that I got for people tackling my content. Imagine if I had the rewards tackling my content and went out and raided at the same time, then I would have uber amounts of rewards, right? I mean, so you have to choose as a player, how much rewards do you really want to consider getting in a day? Is just building and killing players going to be enough for you? Or are you want to try to compete with the leaderboards, with the ranking system? All right. Well, I hope this video, you enjoyed it. And again, I hope to see you on April 4th. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.